How you doing? Jeff Zimfer. Welcome to another edition of Loan Officer Marketing TV. I am glad you're here, and it is time once again for another episode of the Kitchen Cam, because it's lunchtime, and I do these, I don't know, about every couple of weeks. You know, come downstairs from the office and have some lunch and try and share an interesting or relevant story that sometimes has to do with food. And today is no exception. Oh yes, that's right, because today I want to share with you an interesting story that I stumbled across while reading the paper, and I thought I'd share it with you. And it's a story about goldfish and how these little suckers were created. We're all familiar with goldfish. Yummy snack time treat. But I want to share with you the problem that goldfish, how goldfish came about, and the problem it was trying to solve, and that why your success is always built around problem solving. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. So welcome back to Loan Officer Marketing TV. And so this week we're going to talk about problem solving, and that all your success that you're seeking in your sales career is helping people overcome problems. Because when you think about it, right, maybe you've heard this before, the truth is that people don't buy products and services, right? What do they buy? They buy solutions to the problems that they have. You know, obviously with a potential home buyer, what's the problem they have? They need financing for a home, in most cases, which is why they're coming to you. What other problems do they have potentially that you help them solve? Well, they may not know a lot about the home buying process, about qualifying for a home loan, if they're a first-time home buyer, what their options are, if they don't have a lot of income or assets, if their credit, isn't perfect, and things like that. Those are problems. How about real estate agents? What problems do they have? Well, a multitude of problems, right? I mean, it could be for attracting more buyers, more sellers, having tighter control over the transaction, having a loan officer, mortgage professional that they trust, that's going to be upfront and on time with callbacks and deliveries and promises and things like that. So bottom line is this, is keep in mind, for today's lessons in the Kitchen Cam here, as we're talking about solving problems. And there's an interesting story that I came across, like I told you, about goldfish, right? Who doesn't love some goldfish? I know I do. But it's interesting is I've got my notes here from the story that I read. It was a newspaper article by one of my favorite guys, Harvey Mackay. I actually met Harvey Mackay about a year or so ago. Just a wonderful guy. If you haven't read his books, his most popular book is How to Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive. Anyway, so there's this story about goldfish, right? And it's a really cool story about how goldfish crackers really got their start. And here's a quick background, okay? Who do we have to thank for goldfish, right? For these wonderful, yummy snack treats we get to eat every day? Well, none other than a woman named Margaret Rudkin. Okay, here's the story. Margaret, 40-year-old homemaker in rural Connecticut. Her son had severe allergies and asthma. Right? Kids have those problems today, obviously. And the problem was he had to avoid the most commercially processed foods, and he was so severe that eventually he was put on a diet of fruit and vegetables and whole grains, right, to keep his asthma and allergies at a minimum. And keep in mind, this took place, by the way, not today, because we all know there's food allergies today, kids with peanut allergies and stuff, but this took place in the 1930s. Obviously back when ingredients weren't posted on lists and things like that. Fresh produce was not readily available like it is today. It was only seasonally available. So this is the 1930s. And Margaret, being, a mother, loving her son, wanted to solve this problem for her son, she decided to do something about it, which is the first key to success in, helping somebody solve a problem, is do something about it. Take action. Okay? Keep that in mind with your realtors and buyers. You want to be somebody who comes from that place of helping them solve the problems that they have. Okay. So Margaret began experimenting with baking stone ground whole wheat bread and things like that, and her first attempts were just complete utter failures, right? Fell flat on her face. I don't know about you, but when I tried something new, I failed before too. How about you? Okay, so Margaret keeps going though. She doesn't give up. Okay, she didn't have the luxury of Whole Foods and Sprouts and all these natural food stores that we have on every street corner practically here today. So she just kept persisting and persisting and persisting, right? Persisting and without giving up, but changing her approach, noticing what's working, what isn't working, and changing it up a little bit. Okay, so eventually she hit on a recipe that her son and his friends loved, as did everyone else who tasted it. So what is she baking? She's baking bread here. Okay, so what happened? Her son's health improved dramatically, and so much so that the doctor began prescribing the bread that Margaret made for other patients with the asthma and allergies, right? Okay, so her son gets better, son feels great, other people start having positive results just because of Margaret's commitment to solving a problem. Okay, so what does Margaret do? She's no dummy, she's smart. She approaches a local grocer about selling the bread. Entrepreneurial, right? And he thought it would be too expensive because it's all completely homemade and she puts a lot of time and effort into it. So the grocer thought it would be too expensive at 25 cents a loaf compared to the 10 cents a loaf that everybody was paying that day for commercially processed white bread. All right? So, but rather than argue or negotiate, this gal Margaret, she's pretty sharp. She says, hey, just try it. Just take a bite of it. The grocer takes a bite of it, right? Just like these yummy goldfish here. Can't get enough of those. Takes a bite of it and says, oh, wow, that's actually pretty good. Okay? So he bought all the bread that she had. And that's how Margaret Rudkin started Pepperidge Farm. How's that for a story? How's that for a success story? But it doesn't stop there. It continues, right? Margaret's husband says, wow, great idea, Margaret. I'm with you. Let's get involved. So they took the bread, he took the bread with him to New York, right, where the word really began to spread. And in 1939, Margaret baked her 500,000th loaf. 500,000. She baked her 500,000 loaves, still working in her home kitchen in 1939. And then she began to add her line of cookies, and later she marketed what we now know as the yummy, tasty snack treat, Goldfish, which is good pretty much any time, especially right now as I'm hungry. So, amazing story, right? Her company, obviously around still today, amazing success growth, 43% annual growth, eventually exceeded $1 billion in sales. And here's the thing. Margaret didn't set out to establish an empire. She just wanted to improve her son's health. That's all. She just cared enough to want to solve a problem. Okay? So let's think about this. Caring enough to solve a problem. Margaret builds a $1 billion enterprise out of that. When's the last time you cared about solving problems for your customers, your referral partners? Maybe you do, I hope you do, and you probably do, and I applaud you and award you for that. But how about going to that next level, going even to a deeper level, right? Even when you don't feel like it, and maybe stepping outside of that comfort zone a little bit. Because what that's going to do for you, for attracting referrals, for attracting repeat business, for building that known brand of who you are as a person of true caring and compassion, not only with prospective buyers, and even if they're not ready or able to buy right now, right? But keeping that conversation, that envelope, that loop open, so that, guess what? Are they going to talk you up after having that kind of connection with you, that kind of relationship? Absolutely. And if your commitment to your referral partners, your real estate agents, is of the same level as that you're dedicated to helping them solve problems, especially when difficult problems come up in regards to loan files and timely return calls and delivering bad news sooner than later, you know what? You're going to have your share of hard times, but if you're focused on helping people overcome problems, you're going to be, you're going to grow and become that much better for it, and you're going to achieve the type of success you want. So, I don't know, hopefully you felt that was a useful kind of lesson here today, right? It's all about Goldfish and figuring out what problems can you solve for people, okay? Let me know what you think. What problems do you solve for your customers or referral partners on a daily basis? Leave your comments below. Leave a comment, and somebody's going to get a free prize. I'm going to randomly choose who gets that. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. That's how secret it is. So, meanwhile, I'm going to go back to my lunch, finish my Goldfish. Hope you enjoyed today's session of the Kitchen Cam on Loan Officer Marketing TV. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.